Day 18 of our 30-day challenge. Something that my family decided to do this year that I think is a really good idea. We set aside a weekend for each member of our family. Now, depending upon the age of your family members, it will depend on how they contribute. Now, the idea behind this is that each family member gets one weekend per month. Now, on those months where it's a 5-weekend month, there is a weekend free that we can pretty well do whatever we want on. But the other 4 weekends, we spend a couple of hours together. Now, we can do anything in that time frame. So whether or not it's playing a board game, watching a movie, going out on a picnic, whatever we choose, that is what the rest of the family does. Now, our time frame is about 3 hours. That gives us enough time to go and watch a movie, if that is what is actually chosen. And the reason why we introduced this was that relationships with your kids can often be difficult. And it means that any rifts within the family can become more apparent. For instance, and this doesn't apply to us, but it applies to those that have new children, i.e. babies. In the first 12 months after having a new child, 20% of relationships dissolve, they break down. That's a fairly large number. So, having family time where every person can plan an event is something fairly magical, and it brings everyone together. Now, when a child starts to become a teenager, it becomes even more challenging. They will want their independence, but they still want to be part of the family. And it can be hard for them and you. You remember what they were like before they turned into teenagers. And I suppose this is where, if you've got a child that is between 8 and 12 years old, this idea of a weekend per person is absolutely ideal, because you can train them up to consider all aspects of what they're going to be planning for their coming term. Now, we also work on the basis that if somebody skips on a activity, then they skip on their turn, which tends to mean that everybody wants to actually have their turn, so everybody wants to participate. Now, an activity conducted as a family will strengthen your family. It is just as simple as that. As I keep saying, time invested is never wasted. You will find a multitude of returns, and especially in those teenage years when they want their independence, but they still so much desire to be part of the family or a family, having something that they can look forward to makes a big impact, and, well, I believe keeps them on the straight and narrow. But that's my perception, and I do not have any research that actually supports that. Now, obviously, if you don't have kids, well, then what you choose to do with your time is entirely up to you two. Obviously, make sure that you rotate the turns so that each partner gets to choose what they want to do on that particular weekend. Now, if you do have kids, you do have your date night. And I would hope that you and your partner regularly decide together, or you choose to alternate between where you want to go. Anyway, something very quick today. I hope you enjoyed it. I will be putting something a little bit more risky on tomorrow, and I did end up arguing whether or not to do that one today or tomorrow, but I thought, well, I'll interspace the more risque days with something that is going to be hopefully something you can still implement no matter what might be taking place at the time. Anyway, before I dig myself a great big hole, I'm going to shut up. I will see you tomorrow. Don't forget to subscribe, and please feel free to comment.